Hello, hello, hello. This is Cynthia with Cynthia Scott Insurance Agency, coming to you with another hot topic. I was in conversation with a few funeral home owners and directors within the last month, and we both discussed few things that concerns them, as funeral home owners and business owners, and me as well as a life insurance agent. And that is the crowdfunding, such as GoFundMe. It has become a very popular means for obtaining financial assistance in time of crisis. They raise money for everything from natural disaster relief, efforts to rebuilding burned down neighborhoods. But the digital fundraising avenue, GoFundMe, is also being turned to when a loved one has passed away without life insurance, and the financial burial cost or household expenses for the surviving relatives, they're still going on, and they need to raise the money. But this raises concern, and as I look at the studies, the data, showing that it's getting worse. People are using that avenue more so than purchasing life insurance. A growing number of people, they're turning to that GoFundMe to raise money as a memorial fund for those who have passed away. According to GoFundMe, the crowdfunding website, when I looked over at it, it says that it has raised over $4 billion. $4 billion for people in need, helping to build funds that go toward final expenses and raising money for surviving family members. While it's great, I think it's great to see an outpouring of love and support for people in a time of need. Sometimes people that you may not even know, but I hope that people don't come to see it as a replacement for life insurance. Okay? That's one of the things that I'm afraid of, that they're turning to GoFundMe, as that last result. GoFundMe, reported by LIMRA, that's LIMRA. It stands for Life Insurance and Market Research Association. LIMRA says that the rate of life insurance ownership in the U.S. is near an all-time low. It says that some 30% of households are completely uninsured. And those that are insured, only have an average of replacing at least 2 or 3 years of income. And if you don't have an answer when that time comes, you're going to be at the mercy of other people's goodwill. And don't get me wrong at all, that there are many goodwill people out there. There are really good people out there. But I think the organization GoFundMe is great. It's a great place. They've created a wonderful platform. But what I hate to see is that it's becoming something that people rely on rather than what it should be used for. What I think, those rare circumstances. Okay, as a responsible person, I think it's our job. I think personally that it's our job to make sure that we take care of ourselves and take care of our families in event of our death. Insurance companies, they're there to partner with us to make sure that we plan properly, and that, when, not if, but when that time does come, that there's proper coverage in place so that the families can live in at least close to their normal lifestyle as possible. Okay? So to depend on GoFundMe, it just makes me shake my head a little. It does. Instead of you or me, whomever it is, instead of us planning for life insurance, imagine your grieving family now has to plan a GoFundMe campaign. But what happens if there isn't a strong community of support through the website to help your family? Okay, what if it's not? Life insurance, it doesn't just pay for someone's funeral. It also covers other final expenses, and it continues the support of the family as well. Life insurance is really about the living. Okay, did you hear that? Okay, I think I'll say that again. Life insurance is for the living, not the dead. Okay, so, it helps the survivors after someone has passed away. Again, it helps them to maintain. So part of the process of buying life insurance is to determine a person's economic value. Okay, what it would take to replace that person's long-term economic contribution to the family. Okay, or to a business or a society when they were to die. So your economic value is really anything from your one times your asset, it can go up to 30 times if you like, whatever that number is of your income, depending on your age and your financial condition. I can't imagine that GoFundMe is covering people for their full economic value. They're not doing that. I don't think so. Okay. And we all know there's a difference between certainty and uncertainty. And a lot of the events that are funded through GoFundMe, they are uncertain events. Okay. Relatively, few people ever have their house burned down or get flooded, that stuff is happening. But death, however, it is certain. And you can plan for it. So the sooner you do plan for it and the more affordable it is and the more benefit you're going to get out of it while you are alive. Okay? So permanent life insurance, for example, is going to build the cash value that can be used for various things. That's a bit of planning that can, help keep you from needing to launch to that GoFundMe campaign. Okay, for other events in your life. So just to let you know that it is important that we use this opportunity to make sure that people understand how valuable life insurance can be, how valuable life insurance is. Hopefully people realize that GoFundMe, it cannot replace good, solid financial planning, which includes life insurance planning. Good planning allows families to have some sense of certainty in their future, particularly when bad things happen, and they do. Okay, so the question is, would it be better to spend a few dollars per month on a life insurance policy, which can, more than adequately cover, the many of things that you need, unexpectedly expenses, or is it better to put your hope in setting up a crowdfunding page? Which one would you choose? Okay, so think about that. And on the GoFundMe platform, there are more than 22,000 funeral and tribute campaigns. But on the average for funerals, they raise $2,200, which is well short the average cost of a funeral. Okay. Another thing is beware of the tax issues that could come from crowdfunding sites such as GoFundMe. The platform itself is free, but you will have to, you will have some fees that would apply for the transactions. And you also need to be aware that if you raise more than $20,000 or have received more than, I think, 200 contributions, it tells us that you will have to complete a 1099-K and report that money to the IRS as income. Okay, so funeral and related costs, in a regular insurance policy, they're generally tax exempt. Okay, so this is another issue that can complicate your situation if you're not careful. Okay, so why does a life insurance policy makes more sense? Why does it make more sense to cover funeral costs rather than the alternative that a lot of is using to cover. So we're going to have to make sure that something is in there, something is there for our families and our family members so that they can continue on. Okay, so while you can get coverage on you or someone else, get it before it's too late. Get it before it's too late. So when it comes to funeral expenses, life insurance is your best vehicle. It's going to be your best vehicle to ride because you're the beneficiary, and it's going to be tax-free lump sum payment made to you to take care of your expenses associated with the expenses of cost of a funeral today. Okay, and you're not limiting yourself with the amount of coverage that someone may donate to you versus planning for the certainty and having the amount of coverage that you would need, having the amount of coverage that you would need to cover when that time does come. Okay, so as an independent agent such as myself, we can perform all the comparison shopping for you if for you, your loved one, to find the most affordable policy available. So call me today if you like. And, don't get caught up. Don't get caught short by having to rely on GoFundMe site campaigns to pay for the hefty cost of a beloved one's family members, the funeral. Okay? So we don't want to do that. Again, this is Cynthia Scott with Cynthia Scott Insurance, bringing you clarity, information, and education. So you have a wonderful day. Peace.